Hi guys, I'm Ed from Gunmark TV and today we're looking at the Walther Reign M2. Right guys, so if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that I recently tested the Umarex 850 M2, which is one of their CO2 powered multi-shot rifles. I've also tested the Walther Rotex RM8 UC, very popular, well-priced multi-shot PCP. And then I am now testing the Walther Reign M2, which I'll be honest is the one I've been really looking forward to. And this sits at around the £750 mark, making it a very attractively priced rifle. The key sort of obvious note of this rifle is it adopts the bullpup configuration, which means that the sort of working parts and actions sit behind the trigger. Main advantage being as you get a decent length barrel in a very short configuration. So let's take a look at the features. So the Reign comes in 177 or 22 for 12 foot-pound models here in the UK. And the first thing you'll notice when you get it out of the box is its lack of weight, because it comes in at just over £6. And if you compare that to the Rotex, that came in at just over £8. So a noticeable difference. And overall length, you're looking at just over 26 inches, which is really quite remarkable and obviously a benefit of the bullpup configuration. Up front you get with the rifle a pepper pot brake and that's screwed onto the 1/2 inch UNF thread. It's a shame, like the other rifles I tested, this rifle, it doesn't come with a silencer with it, which is a shame, but you just have to go and buy your own. The barrel is a 19.7 inch Lothar Walther tube, which is obviously a big selling point for this rifle because that's a premium brand with a great reputation. And we'll get on to performance later on. You'll see that they have got quite a sort of bulbous fore end, which makes up part of the clamshell sort of configuration of this rifle, because essentially what they've done is put together two sides of polymer to form what you see here, the furniture that you see here. And this contains within it underneath the cylinder, which is really nice because it's a great way of hiding it and putting it out of sight, out of mind, and ensuring that you have a decent position and handhold for your leading hand. So a nice bulbous design, which is hand filling with some really nice sort of stippling. I wouldn't call it checkering as such. Nice panels on both sides, offering plenty of grip to this sort of matte black finish. So yeah, really easy to wipe clean if you get it muddy or dirty, etc. So moving backwards, you can quickly see the manometer, nice fresh design, clearly see what's going on. Above this you get a plug which you can pull out to insert your probe that comes with the rifle. And then down here with the integral trigger guard, you'll find a 2-stage adjustable trigger. I will point out this stage that if you want to adjust the trigger, you have to undo something like, it's either 14 or 17 screws that secure the two clamshell halves together. So you have to be really keen to get in there and change that. You know, but this one was nice and broke at £1 pound 8 ounces from memory. So perfectly pleasant and easy to use. Above this is a push button safety. It's on safe at the moment. You have to push it from the left side to turn it off. Personally, I think that's the wrong way round. I'd rather have it the other way round, but horses for courses. You then get a fairly fat and significant pistol grip, which makes up part of the thumb hole configuration. Again, it's got sort of the stippling panels on there, and it's sort of got some nice swells that fill your hand nicely. So some great ergonomics there from Umarex. Because this is a dedicated bullpup airgun rather than built from the ground up as a bullpup, they've put a side lever right where it needs to be, so you can quickly from the trigger go to grab the biathlon style handle, and you get some spring assistance when you open it, cock it back, and then when you come to close it, you get some more assistance as it closes shut, which is really nice, making it really smooth to use. Importantly, big feature of this airgun is this can be swapped onto the other side for the southpaws out there. It takes a bit of work to do, but it can be done. I think they recommend you get your local gun shop to do that. But that's a really big plus point, because obviously the whole stock is ambidextrous. So, you know, for those lefties out there, definitely a rifle worth considering. And we'll move on to the point where you get a rotary magazine, 11 shot capacity in 177, 10 in 22, and importantly, this can be inserted from either side. So once you've moved your cocking handle to the other side, you just swap which side you insert it on. So it's that easy, no work required to do that, literally just slots in. Come to the rear, and they have given you a QD flush cup for attaching a sling. Obviously you don't get one at the front, but because you've got a Picatinny accessory rail, you could mount a QD flush cup to that rail, or if you mount a bipod with a suitable attachment point, you can then have a standard sling swivel, for example, on that side. So not perfect, but a good option, better than not having anything at all. And then at the rear you have a fairly solid butt pad. Obviously you don't get any recoil, so it doesn't need to be squishy, but it does offer plenty of grip. So, you know, overall a pretty nicely featured gun. Up top, fairly characteristic of the bullpup layout, is you get a long length of Picatinny accessory rail for scope mounting, which is important because when you first come to use a bullpup rifle, you'll notice just how different sort of scope positioning, you know, how important it is to the setup of the rifle, because it's quite unique. So giving you plenty of space means you've got all the options for correct eye relief. Which brings on to the next point, which is one of the disadvantages of this layout, is your height above the bore line here, which you can see. It's quite high, so that means when you're making close range shots, you've got a bit more margin that you have to take into account. But with practice, you'll soon overcome that, so I don't see that really as an issue. So those are the features. So, just like my last video, I've got 3 pellets that I'm using from H&N. The Finale Match Light on the left, the Field Target Trophy in the middle, and the Barracuda 8 on the right. I first shoot at 20 yards, then 30 yards, and finally 40 yards. The funny thing is, as you'll notice, is my shooting at 20 yards isn't actually that great. I end up doing a lot better at the further distances, so these results are a bit skew-if. I also end up, I don't use the Finale for the further distances because they're the weakest pellet at this range, so I didn't see the point. Power wise, I got an average with the 3 different pellets of 10.84 foot-pounds, and I got some cracking consistency with the Barracuda 8s, which were also the most accurate pellet, as you'll see. So I got a 14 feet per second spread over 27 shots, which is pretty bloody good. And that was from an indicated fill from the compressor of 232 bar that I filled the gun up to. And I would say, during my use, I would say the premium performance band is about 120 shots. That's when I started to notice the consistency go down slightly. So I'd refill at 120 shots. But you know, I think that's pretty good fill from a gun of this size. Here we are at 40 yards, and this was the decider between the Field Target Trophy and the Barracuda 8s, which have performed very well. The Barracuda 8s actually managed in the end a 0.396 inch group, which is very good. And further testing after I recorded this video on multiple days has proven that the Barracuda 8s really are very, very capable. Well priced as well. So if you haven't tested them, I'd recommend testing them out. But very, very happy with the performance at this distance with this air gun. Right guys, so what do I think of the Walther Reign? Well, I really enjoy it, and that was sort of proven by just how much I've shot the thing as well, putting a fairer number of pellets down it, and I've really sort of grown to like its dimensions and handling characteristics. And I must say that, you know, when it came to printing groups and accuracy testing, I just got better and better with it. I will say you do have to work for those groups. It's not one of those effortless air guns that just punches in those groups all the time. I really had to focus on trigger control and breathing. And I also found that, you know, due to my height, I got quite hunched over it, so you had to be sort of consistent with how you mount the rifle and get behind it. But that all comes with practice, and there's definitely performance to be had once you get all those points nailed down. Trigger wise, if it was my air gun, I would take it apart, and I think I would have a bit of a tinker with the trigger just to see whether I can get out of that a little bit of the creep out of there. But I mean, like I said, I'm still printing pretty good groups for this air gun, so I'm not overly worried. Also, the shot count's pretty good, and the consistency was very good, and there's not really much more you can ask for, really. I imagine that most people will use this for sort of pest control, given its small dimensions, and there's more enough shots and more than enough performance to get all those jobs done. You just have to be wary when you do get one of these air guns, is to choose your scope and mounts correctly. If you're buying it from a shop, maybe get it all set up there so you can make sure it's exactly what you want. I mean, even you can see here just how close the objective bell of that scope is, even though I probably would like to mount this scope a bit further forward, which would give me a bit of room. But the height of your mounts will be a crucial factor when you're fitting that. Reliability wise, magazine was faultless, really easy to load. I will say within this area, because your ear is right next to there, you can pick up a bit of noise there, which some people might find a little bit uncomfortable over long plinking sessions. Not an issue at all for, you know, a few shots here and there, but over a long period you might get a bit tired of that. So that's worth taking into consideration. The cocking mechanism was just a delight to use, really pleasant, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So overall, a really good choice for anyone looking for an affordable bullpup air gun that will get the job done. Right guys, thanks for watching Gunmart TV. If you like the video, then please like, subscribe, click the notification bell and leave any comments down below. Look forward to seeing you again.